Well, this is our first outing together on the bikes, exploring the Wirral, we should say. First port of call is leaving home and down to Moreton Cross. This is just a cut through to get onto the Upton Road. I've got Bethan with me today, busy Bethan from her allotment. She's on this trip with me. I've lived in this area since 1949, moving over from Liverpool. Moved down to Seacombe for a short while, 10 years of my life, but most of it's been spent just in this area. It can be a busy road this early in the morning or in the evening, because just up behind me is the entrance to the slip road to the M53, which takes you to Chester, and the opposite direction takes you to Liverpool. Hope you can't hear me huffing and puffing. We're just now coming down to what's called Moreton Cross. The cross. It was first recorded in 1778 as Moreton, M-E-R-E-T-U-N, and derives from the Anglo-Saxon word meaning settlement. Settlement means ton besides the lake, which is mere, so that's where it got its name from.
These shops on the right of the roundabout as we're coming up to have all got little name plaques at the top between the windows, and they all represent a horse. That's a jockey called Frank Mason, nicknamed Titch, rode, and one of them was Kirkland, which he won on in the Grand National in 1905. And I think it's further down past the road which we're going to go down. It was a house built there, and he called that Kirkland after the winning horse. This shop opposite, which you can see boarded up, it was a jeweller's, and for a good few years now it's been left derelict. It's an absolute disgrace, and nobody seems to be able to do anything about it to get it sorted. Back to Frank Mason, he was born in Liverpool, but when he retired on the Wirral in Moreton.
Go on, yes. Right, we're leaving Moreton now and we're heading down to the shore, Moreton shore. There's a pub called the Moreton Arms, but you left the E out of it. It was just spelled M-O-R-T-O-N. Now whether that was deliberate or not, I don't know. It's no longer a pub now. As most pubs, it's closed down and it's turned into a plumber's merchant. On the right there is Moreton station. It's a tube that goes all the way over to Liverpool. It goes from West Kirby to Liverpool. As we come over this hill to the right over the railway is where Cadbury's used to be.
Now Cadbury's, at its peak, employed 6,000 people, local people. My father worked there about 1955. Oh, I remember fondly, he'd bring home broken biscuits, the chocolate finger biscuits. They'd get them for next to nothing in the factory shop. They were lovely. Anyway, this particular factory was designed by a Sir Geoffrey Jellicoe, so they named the new estate after him, called Gallivanting Gardeners.
We're just coming down now to what's Moreton Shore and the common, which is known as Liso Common. There's a lovely little cafe down here called the Green Hut. It's got a really good name.
Yeah, I believe Johnny Vegas comes down here now and again, and he gets his fish and chips from there, and he always gives it a good review. Also, they really do look after the area around it. They've really neatened it up and made it pleasant for people to come down, sit around, have the chips, cups of tea and a chat. The name Liso comes from an Anglo-Saxon, lisos, or meadow pastures, as you can see.
So we're going to get onto the promenade, head towards Mells. Alright. That's the Irish Sea. To the right is the Mersey. It's Liverpool over there. Seaforth. We're going to head up here towards Mells, and the lighthouse is just on the left here. We'll stop there and have a little chat about it. This is Liso Lighthouse here. It's a historic lighthouse in Moreton on the Wirral Peninsula. The lighthouse was built in 1763 by the Mersey Docks and Harbour Company to guide shipping safely to the port of Liverpool, and is the oldest lighthouse built with brick in the United Kingdom. The lighthouse became obsolete and was closed in 1908. The last lighthouse keeper was Mrs. Williams, the only known female lighthouse keeper of the period. showing exactly where we are on the peninsula, right up the very end there where it says "You are here" in red. Yes, Bethan's going to point it out, that's exactly where we are. And the gentleman there doing his morning exercises. Right, mate, your eyes.
Al and I were on the bikes this morning. Decided to do a little walk along the coast, going from Moreton to West Kirby, where I was the other day.
Just stopped here to have a look over the wall because this is a holiday home place. My nan used to have a marquee here many years ago, you can see in that picture. The whole family used to come over from Liverpool and they'd stay, they'd have to walk from Seacombe or Woodside all the way here, but this is how we ended up over here because they liked it that much they decided to buy some.
Next port of call is the Coast Guard headquarters. Have a look at that. There's Bethan, started up before me. This is a Wirral Coast Guard rescue team. Provides Her Majesty's Coast Guard search and rescue capacity for the Wirral Peninsula, the River Dee and the River Mersey. And it's open 24 hours a day. Yes, you can get onto the sand dunes down here. This is the end of the promenade at Mells from Hoylake. It says on here, welcome to the North Wirral Coastal Park. 4 miles of dunes, grassland and hay meadows. Next to the golden sand and beaches of the heart of North Wirral. We're now approaching Mells Promenade. This promenade stretches from Mells all the way to Hoylake. It's quite a stretch. It's lovely to come for a walk on a summer's day. There's normally the ice stream wagons are normally down here and everything. Just along here, I don't know if it was the 70s or 80s, there used to be a series on called Watching, a bit of a comedy series on the television, and it was filmed along here. You were using one of these houses. Anybody that's actually watched this would recognise the post box in it. Now they've actually changed the door of this house. I used to know it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was this I think it was that particular house here in 174, and that was where the programme Watching was made in the 70s or the 80s, approximately around that time. If it wasn't that one, it was the one round there. I'm not sure which one it was, but the front door's been changed. It used to be a white front door with the number on the door. Just to the left here, I've got a cousin that lives in that end detached house. And you want to see some of the sunrise and sunsets he gets.
Oh, these beautiful pictures that he's taken. Absolutely beautiful.
Just on the right here, there's quite a few tennis courts. We're now, I would say, entering Hoylake. We're just coming up to here now, Hoylake Lifeboat Station. On this site, when I was younger, was a big outdoor baths. Absolutely beautiful it was. used to come on a regular basis, get the bus from Moreton, which isn't far, it's only about 3 miles on the bus, and get off at the top of one of these roads. Where that car is now, there's a road called Hull Road, and we used to walk down there, and the bats would be right in front of us. And I tell you what, we had quite a lot of open air bats on the Wirral them days. New Brighton, Hoylake, I won't go through them all, but New Brighton was massive. This one wasn't so big, but it was sheltered more from the wind and the cold, so it was absolutely quite warm in there. We'll have to go on the pavement over here, won't we? This is one-way traffic here. Yeah, so this is where the baths used to be. This is all about the Wirral's wonderful waders. Our beaches are some of the best places in the country to watch these birds. They make long journeys to and from the northern breeding grounds from September to March. The birds use Wirral's beaches to feed and rest. Roosting flocks are sensitive to disturbance from water sports, horse riding, in particular uncontrolled dogs around high tide. You can help by not disturbing them. Some of them, the knots, that's the top one, then the ring plover, then the curlew, the red shank, rooster catcher, grey plover, bar-tailed woodwit, sandling, and dunlin. I'll just give a mention about the fountain I'm zooming in on now. Is just to the right of the RNI station. And as a child, that was there then when the baths were just here to the left. And many a time I'd be thirsty because it'd be that hot down there. You go and get your mouth around and get the water. Ooh, you couldn't do that today, could you? Right, on we go. Back on the bike. I feel a bit naughty actually riding on the pavement, but it's one way up here. And I don't know why there's no cycle track on this pavement here, because it's wide enough for everybody, to be honest. Just ahead is the old lifeboat station. I'll show you that in a minute.
No, this used to be where the old public toilets were. They just knocked them down and using the base now as a platform. This beach one time used to be actually golden sands all the way from here back to the baths. Absolutely beautiful it was. Now it's getting overtaken by this grass. There's a bit of controversy between the residents. Some want it taken, raked off, because they were doing that for a good few years, raking it off. But now the council say they're going to follow Natural England's rules, so they're going to leave it as it is for nature.
We're coming up to the lifeboat, the old lifeboat station now. It's still a clubhouse though for them, as you can see. Hopefully you can see anyway. The Hoylake Sailing Club it's called. Just here, that was the old boathouse station. That's where they used to keep the lifeboats many years. Well, it's not that many years ago, but I'd say about 15, 20 years ago possibly. It's now the offices apparently, I've just been informed. And this slipway here is where they used to launch the lifeboat into the sea when they had distress calls and they go out. Brave volunteers, very brave volunteers. Full of admiration for every single one of them. But as I say, so that's that building there. See what it says on the sign. North Parade, Hoylake, the old lifeboat station, 1897 to 2009, 15 North Parade. I've come down here on many a lifeboat day when they've...
I think it was in August, they always used to have every year. It was called Lifeboat Day, and I couldn't remember what it was called. And at this moment, I was asking Bethan what it was called, but the wind was that loud, you couldn't hear
And we
it.
had many times, I think I've got some videos of it somewhere, of the Red Arrows used to come here most years and do a fly past and do all sorts of different things. So it was really nice. And I don't know if you can see over there now, it's Hilbury Island, a little bit closer to it, so we'll see how it goes.
Where them new houses are behind it, the lifeboat, the old lifeboat station. I've got a feeling that's where the lower lighthouse originally was. But eventually that was knocked down and they built a pavilion called the Lighthouse Pavilion, which opened in 1911, and it eventually went on to be just a picture house or cinema as such thing, and it shut down in 1995. Was the last time it was used, and it was called Hoylake Cinema at that time. We've now moved to the end of the promenade, and this is called King's Gap, and that house you can see where them people are walking, the big tall one or two. My dear wife used to work there many years ago, and she looked after a chap called the Brigadier, and that was her job. She was a carer. She used to stay there all night with him sometimes. I was just walking back to have a look what was on that board, and it was only the same as what was on the other board by the lifeboat station about the birds. But if you look back on that promenade, me and Beth have just cycled along, that was built in 1897 to 1899.
I had something to tell you, now it's totally gone out of my head what I was going to say. Oh, it's so annoying at times. Just remember what it was. Many years ago, we used to walk across to Hilbury Island from here, but it's not the done thing to do. There's a lot of little channels in it, and it's very, very dangerous. But in our youth, stupidly, we try to get across. You should do it from Hoylake Beach, which I think Beckham put a video on, I think it was last week, where a visit to Hoylake. She mentioned a few things, that she was taken by her mother and got caught on the island by the tide, and then you have to wait X number of hours for the tide to go out again. Right, we'll move on now up King's Gap and have a look for the lighthouse, the Hoylake Lighthouse. To the right here, there's a house. I used to be a heating engineer before I retired, and I put the boiler in this particular property here. Oh, I've done a few in here actually. I've done 4 properties in that little area there. 4 properties. But that particular property there, the bottom flat, lived a singer, shanty singer called Bob Buckle. Very talented man. He's not too good at all now. He's in a nursing home. His wife's still there as far as I know. Yeah, so that's where Bob Buckle lives. House here with the wall down belongs to my cousin Kenny. He lives there. Yeah. And there's his motorhome, which I've been away with him a few times in. Now from this point here, you can actually see over the wall there, you can see the lighthouse. So it's not this road here, it's the next road we'll go down, and it's on the left hand side. There's a Hoylake Lighthouse.
Hoylake had 2 lighthouses, a lower lighthouse and an upper lighthouse. Now this one you're looking at is the upper lighthouse, and they were built in 1764. But in 1866 a new upper lighthouse was built. This lighthouse was used up until May 1886. That was the last time the light was lit. it has now become private residence.
Just to the right there is a place called the Green Lodge, which they do some lovely meals in there. We're crossing over here now, we're crossing over King's Gap, and we're going to go down Stanley Road to the bottom. Quite a long road. Just to the left here is called the Royal Liverpool Golf Course. 2023 was the last open here, and this road will be crowded with people going into the course because the gate to it is just down here. Now I have been myself to see this. I'm not into golf at all, to be honest with you. But seeing you live right on the doorstep, I couldn't resist going, and I was here the year Tiger Woods won it.
The Liverpool Golf Club was founded in 1869 on what was once a racecourse of the Liverpool Hunt Club. It received the royal designation in 1871 due to the patronage of Prince Arthur, the Duke of Connaught, one of the Queen's Victoria's young sons. Well, we move on down to the bottom of Stanley Road. We get to the bottom here, and as you can see in front of us is the shore, the beach, and them two little dots there, that's Hilbury Island, and little Hilbury there. So, just to the left there, you can see the Welsh Hills on the other side of the Dee, and just to the right here, you can see them rocks. It's called Red Rocks, and that's why it's called Red Rocks, because they're red. What a beautiful beach this is, and you get some beautiful sunsets here. Absolutely. I've taken a few nice pictures myself down here in my time of a late evening as the sun's setting. Unfortunately, I just can't find it in pictures at the moment. If I could, I'd put them on for you to have a look at. I don't know if you can see that little white dot in the distance. That's a lighthouse on Talacha Beach in Wales. What we're doing now, we're returning back up Stanley Road. As you can see, the golf course is on the right there. You've got to go right to the top of this road, turn right to the roundabout and turn right and back down the other side of the golf course, where we will see the main clubhouse, which we were looking at it from the back before. We'll see it from the front, how grand it really is.
I had a friend many years ago that moved into the top flat of this apartment here, Fairway Court, and it was lovely in the summer to be able to sit the front there and a little bit of a back. Well, it was the second one up actually, it wasn't the top flat, so she'd sit on the balcony, and when the golf was on she could sit there and enjoy herself watching it, having a drink of an evening. Beautiful it was. Coming into Hoylake now. King's Gap Hotel on the left. Apparently it's full of a lot of asylum seekers in there. Won't go on about that.
Sorry about this, all you can see is my handlebars. The camera dropped forward, I didn't realise I'd done it, so all you can see is my handlebars.
I'll take a shortcut here. A bit naughty. This place, when the opens on, is absolutely buzzing. It's full of bars and restaurants.
Which unfortunately you can't see because I'm still looking at my handlebars. It won't be long now, so I'll come to the Royal Liverpool and you'll be able to see a little bit more, hopefully.
What a grand building that is. The Royal Liverpool Golf Course. You've got to have some money to play a round of golf there, believe me. Yeah, just go over there and just see what it says on the blue plaque. Quite a busy road this, as you can see. It's a main drag between Hoylake and West Kirby. Little golf. John Ball of Hoylake. 1861 to 1940. Opened the Golf Championship 1890. 8 times amateur golf champion between 1888 and 1912. Member of the Royal Liverpool Golf Club. Conservation area, Wirral. Right, got to take my life in my hands now and get across this road. Right, we're just now leaving Hoylake and coming into West Kirby. And let me see the sign there, West Kirby. We just stopped to have our butties, a cup of tea and some soup. And some fool has left the butties at home and left, yes, which is quite true. I've got to admit, it's me. I've left the butties at home. I can't believe it. We're down on Hoylake Front here. And, sorry, yes, can't even get that right, can I? Forgot the butties, can't even remember where I am. I'm in West Kirby. So, what do I do with the old soup? Can't beat the soup.
Got some tangerine.
No thanks. I'm sulking now because I've got no butty. Well, Bethan's obviously sulking because she's sitting in the corner, ignoring me.
It's nice and sheltered.
We're now looking at Hilbury from West Kirby. Now this is a way where you can see them people walking across. This is a way you should walk across to Hilbury. It's the safest way to go if you follow when the tides are coming in and going out. That's safest. And on here, this is a boating lake. This is where Bethan the other day was going to walk around. You can see them walking around there in the distance. And the tide's out on the other side of it. What happens is the tide fills up that lake and the wall holds the water in, so that the surfers and the little yachters, they have little yachts on here, yacht races and different sorts of things on here. So they're quite safe to stay on here. The water stays here, and you can see it's quite windy today, so they're thoroughly enjoying it. This area here, which you can see in front of you, was the where the West Kirby baths used to be, the outdoor baths. That part was where the building was, where you could change, and they used to have an area just out into the lake where you could swim into just to seawater basically. But that went many years ago. Right, seeing as idiots forgot the sandwiches, I think it's time for us to both head home. So Bethan's just sorting herself out, so we'll be moving off soon, going up Montgomery Hill. And this is Grange Mariner's Beacon. It's located in the village, well, it's in West Kirby, and stands at the top. This is Caldy Hill. West Kirby was once an island at the mouth of the River Dee. At one time, large ships were able to enter the River Dee until they reached Thingwall. However, over time, the estuary silted up. A windmill at the top of Caldy Hill has been used for years as a navigation aid. However, the mill was destroyed during a storm in January 1839. As a result, an 18-metre high sandstone column was built in 1841 to replace the mill. A large stone board is mounted at the top of the column, and a millstone is set at the base of the column. Well, that's the end of our gallivanting for today. We've reached the end of the line now, and we've just arrived back home in the opposite direction from when we set off on. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video of our little trip. If you liked, please subscribe and like. Time for a nice little cup of tea now and relaxation.